Alright, this is a mic and video check for anybody in the chat room tonight. We are going to do episode 3 of the track making live stream tonight. So let's go ahead and jump back into Shim. Oh, okay. I just got done racing. Anyway, as I was saying, just got done racing the straight rhythm and lost to Burkine. So now I'm back here and I'm totally lost. So again, anybody who's here, please quick check in chat. Audio and video sound good. Looks good on my end. Hopefully it's good on your end. So I don't actually need to be here right now because I want to turn my graphics back up. And exit, re-enter the game. Alright. So let's get back to work on this tutorial track here. I want to try to finish the displacement tonight, so if I can finish the displacement, that would be fantabulous. Thank you, Luke Chef, in chat for letting me know that I did a pretty good job on straight rhythm tonight. Ended up going to the quarterfinals. Where's tutorial track? There it is. Alright. Thank you, J Lily White 23. I was pretty excited to race that tonight. Didn't think I was going to get the chance. So sorry that the stream's starting a little bit late, but that would be the reason why. Alright, so just as a reminder, in case you've missed any of the previous streams, we'll do a quick run through of what the track looks like as we are right now. Alright, so it starts over here. We come flinging down into turn 1. Oh, and slide out and go down because I'm a goon. So turn 1, we'll loop around this way. It's got kind of 2 rolling hills into turn number 2. 3 ruts, inside, middle, and outside. Then a long run up the first uphill. Maybe even hitting 5th gear, it looks like, to do that big table. We got an inside and outside rut. Outside is a split rut, so you have to hit 2 different ruts. And 5 rollers up a hill into an off camber. Hook a rut and work your way down the hill. A little scrub table, and then a split section. Inside you hit a wall, outside you can double over that wall and then hit the inside in the next corner. And we got a turning double down into another quick roller section, and then a big triple step or tabletop thing. And then we've worked our way into this corner down here, and we're about to go up this hill right in front of us. Alright, so let's get to work on that. Let me see how I want to do this here. So, let's lay a gradient down. It's going to be a pretty straight section here. Let's go with gradient edit. Set from terrain. You can see over here it's now set this from the terrain. So I will use linear paint to modify this, and I want to do a triple step up, and I think I want the landing to be this dot right here. So let's smooth this out a little bit, bring it down in the middle, and then we're going to have a little floater, single, not that steep though, little floater single that will then drop you back down on the other side of this hill. So we'll have the step up that lands up here. I think we'll have it take off from roughly right here. Let's get rid of some of these dots. This is a line dot. I want it to be a curved dot. Someone is text chatting me. It is Zach. So we're just hanging out, building this track here. Actually, I think I want this to be a little bit longer. Why does it keep drawing lines? Could you increase your voice audio a little quiet for me? Sure. See if that helps for you guys. So increased my voice audio. Hopefully that helps out a little bit. We're going to start getting this jump built here. I want it to be a triple step up as well. Oh, sorry to hear that you guys having some issues maybe on your internet there. This track editing episode will be up on YouTube tomorrow morning. We've got 2 videos coming at you guys tomorrow for Thanksgiving Day. One of which will not be done by me. And for those of you asking where Jeremy is, well, you're about to find out tomorrow, because he's back, folks. So Jeremy's going to do a video that will be out tomorrow after I release the track editing tutorial that will be released tomorrow. And yeah, so anybody who's asking about this track that seems to be having some questions about it, from day one, this track was meant to be created start to finish and released to the public for free. I'm not going to charge money or anything like that. And I'll probably end up doing a track walk in it at some point as well. On it. Not in it, but on it. I like the jump the way it is there. So let's bump this out to 66. All right, what were we doing before? I want to try to get this to about even with what we were at. I think we were doing 80 or 90. Maybe a little bigger. Back out to 1.75. Yeah, that looks about right. Whoops! See? Now you hit backspace to make sure you don't make a mistake there. And we'll start drawing this guy in. Just let's put this more like right here. Alright, so we're building this step up into the hillside basically. And because I'm using linear paint, it'll just draw it in nice and smoothly. And let's take a look at that. Alright. So we've got this triple jump landing here, comes into these 2 ruts. Then we got this nice long run up the hill. And yeah, figured that'd be a little bit too short. So we're gonna have to either put something in the way of that to make it so that it fits better, or make the jump longer itself. Looks like a nice jump and the lip's built pretty well, but we definitely want it to be down the hill a little bit more. It's kind of cool that you could maybe quad it, but I really only want you to triple it and then scrub back down the hill. Even that scrub back down the hill needs to be moved back a little bit, I think. Built it all a little bit too far up. Let's see if you can quad it. Let's just give it a go here. Get a good run. And 5th gear. Oh yeah, you can quad that. I mean, that's kind of cool, but it's unrealistic, so I don't want to keep doing that. So let's go ahead and fix that. And we'll go back to edit. We'll move the takeoff down to about here. Not as tall as that though. It's a little bit tall for the takeoff. Top 5 of the tracks created from watching your series? What do you mean by that? Explain yourself, Moto Racer 1. Alright, let's Let's fix these curves a little bit. I think I need to move this landing back a little bit more. And move this up a little bit. Move this up. And then move this up. Try to move everything a little bit more symmetrical here. So we got this triple step up, which I'm going to fix the lip right now. Doesn't pop you as much as I want it to down here. Alright, that looks like a pretty decent lip. Let's try to paint it in again. Back to 1.75 on 9D. Come on. Wish you could just type these in, that'd be easier. So, whoop. That's linear add. My bad. Need to be on linear paint. Alright. And we'll just try to follow this line. Alright, so yeah, that jump's initiating a lot sooner than it was. Now we're at the top here and working our way back down. Alright, now let's have a look at that here. Alright, so it looks a little bit better on the way down, and I'm just going to do that real quick so it fixes it. Alright, this looks like a little bit better distance of a jump. We'll see how that takeoff is. Looks kind of steep. I made Kellen Brower's house. Yeah, I made my track. The only thing I didn't make on my house was obviously like the statues and stuff like that. And then I didn't make fucking the Supercross track. Checkers made the Supercross track on that. So, yeah. Might be a little bit too big of a jump, actually. I might want to tone that down. Like, let's see if I take inside. I guess it's pretty easy to clear. Not that big. I do want to smooth that out a little bit, though, because that has some serious pop on it. First of all, let's smooth out down here, because I don't want this ridiculous bump being in the way. And then smooth out over here. And then we'll drop this down to, let's just get it down to 7.5. Maybe take a little smooth on it. A little bit more, actually. 1.25, that looks good. And we'll just smooth out the lip a little bit so it doesn't pop you as much, because right now it just throws you up there. And we smooth this part out right in here just so that it doesn't have a lip from where I stopped. Stop the linear paint part. Alright, so now we'll come down here. And it looks like, yeah, that's definitely a lot smoother of a takeoff. Before it was quite the drop off. Now it looks a little bit smoother. So you come out of that corner, get a nice drive, and just float up to the top of the hill. And then drop down over here. We'll obviously put braking bumps in so that it slows your speed down a little bit. But next up, we're going to U-turn and go right back up over the hill. But I think for this U-turn, I want to put a anthill. Let's see. Alright, so we need to be right in here. Kind of want to be down over here. So let's... yeah, let's just put it in an anthill. So we'll edit this. We're building a rut right here. Not a big one though. and it'll actually be above ground. And we're doing this so that on this anthill on the inside, there's at least a little bit of a lip that you can kind of bank off of on there. And we'll go back to radial add, and that doesn't matter. Focus down to 0. Crank that up, and we'll just cheekily drop it right in there. So let's have a look at that. Looks pretty good. So now we'll build the anthill. All right. So we'll lay a new gradient, and we want it to be about that big or so. Gradient edit. Let's make it, say, about 7 feet tall. We want it to be right in the middle. Curve those lines, and then try to do the best that we can so that there's no off-camber bits. Alright, let's try to draw that in real quick. So we're out to 66. I want to keep everything as uniform as you can. So I'm going to half this down to about, not that much. Yeah. So you come in here and just draw in that little anthill. Want to do more than that, I think, though. Let's have a look at how that looks. Yeah, that's too steep, too abrupt, and it's also too wide. It needs to be a little bit more condensed. Yeah, question in chat is, how do you know how tall something is? So we have this gradient here, and if I go to edit, you'll see that I have it selected on this dot up here on top, and on the left side of the screen over here, it tells you the height. I don't know if you can see my cursor. I think you should be able to, but it'll show you the height of how tall that is. Let's make this out to about 6 feet, actually. And it's all right if it flows over a little bit. All right, let's try that again. Yeah, it's still not big enough. Let's have a look at this one, though. Maybe. Don't like the height of it. Needs to be bigger. Keep forgetting that I drew the gradient to fit this purpose, so we can actually stretch this all the way out. Move this over here. Let's draw those in so that it flattens it out a little bit. And we'll try again. Alright, now let's have a look. That looks a little bit better in my opinion. Still a little bit wide though. Alright, let's have a look at this corner. So you'd come in here, you'd bank off this guy. Yeah. Let's fix that. Let's fix that. Let's edit that again. Let's make it not have such a steep lip. Even that out over here. Even that out over here. Linear add. And we'll just drop this down actually to 60. Not liking how much this is taken up with the corner at this point. It's alright. I think we're gonna put a couple ruts on this inside roller. And then, so we've already got this one rut established here. and then it turns and comes back up the hill. But I think I'm also going to put another rut on the very inside of it that's a little bit smaller maybe, and it'll turn you right up the hill. And then on the outside we'll just have basically this OP rut that just you come in and get on the front of the bike and rip it. Do I think that I'll get to braking bumps on this stream? On this episode of the stream, we'll see. It'll be kind of tight, to be honest, because we've already started late, and I will go an hour and a half, but I want to finish the terrain without question tonight if I can. So we'll see. Very possible that we could, but I don't want to get your hopes up just to have it not happen. Alright, so now we're making this awesome rut on the outside. This needs to come in a little bit more. Why does it keep drawing lines? Why? Why must you do this? Alright, that looks like it's going to be a pretty dope rut. So let's go ahead and go to radial add. We want the focus to be down at 0 when we're doing corners. Make this wide. Let's draw that in there nicely. So let's take a look at that. Oh, that's a nice outside rut right there. So again, we will put braking bumps there. I don't know if I'll get to it. But we'll come into this corner, it'll raise up coming into the corner, you'll be on the brakes, and then just get into this outside rut and hammer it, and you'll come back up over the hill here, and actually I'll have it turning this way a little bit more, and then I want to have a corner right about here. You'll come over this bridge, maybe I'll put a sand section or something like that in here, U-turn, come down, and then come back under the bridge. We'll go over the hill this way. And then probably turn right somewhere in here. Come back across and then back onto the start straight right here. Alright. So now that I've shown you guys what my plans are for the track, let's do what we can to finish that tonight, hey? You want 0 focus for ruts and corners, because if you didn't, I'll show you. So let's take that same gradient, now move it over here, and we're on absolutely 1 focus. You draw it in, and you can see, I'll put it over here, that it didn't make the corners smoothen out. It just drew them in very harshly straight up and down. That same thing will happen if your focus is high on jumps. The reason I do 66 focus on jumps and on other things is because instead of it going straight down on the side of the jump, you actually have this sort of transition that you can kind of go up the side of the jump, and it looks like it's built and not just, I mean, basically shaped. If I were to do 0 focus, the jump would have no flat top on it, no lip whatsoever. So that hopefully will answer that question for you there. Let's see, I'll move this back over here. Alright, I want to put one more cheeky little rut on the inside of this, so let's go ahead, hit a new gradient. And we want this on the inside here. And I want this rut to kind of lead you back up the hill a little bit easier than the one that's already there. So we're going to draw this in pretty nicely. This is going to be a pretty nice rut. It's going to be small, but if you can get into it, it's going to be nice. So let's draw her in here. Again, all this stuff is going to be so much harder or not flow as well, because right now it's basically a highway. I've basically built a highway, but it won't flow as well or any of that stuff once we have built rough into the track. Once we've made, what's the word I'm going for? Once I've put in braking bumps in the track, it won't be as smooth. So let's just draw that guy in. Let's fix that actually. All right, let's see how well that comes out of the corner. See, whenever I draw it in like that, it always comes out stupid, so I have to go back out and come back in. Right. Yeah, so now we got this pretty nice little anthill that has a nice outside line if you want to take it, but I'll put the rough in pretty harsh on the inside, but if you can get to this inside rut, it looks like it's pretty nice. It's a little bumpy, so I'm actually going to smooth all this out a little bit just to smooth out some of the rough that's in there. All right. So we've smoothened those out a little bit, and that definitely smoothed out the rough a little bit as well. All right, so we're done with that corner. We got a little anthill on the outside, a nice railable rut on the middle is the anthill. The inside goes up the anthill, but you can see not as intense, and then the outside, and that's after coming on this triple step up and then down into the back side of the track. I guess it's the front side because this is the starting gate over here. So a look from the track editor, we start, go through here, over this table, U-turn back up the hill, ruts down and off camber, a table, inside out option, outside double, inside wall, turning double, rollers into a triple tabletop, this far end corner, then a triple step up. And then we have that little drop down and into the corner that we're working on now. So we'll place another gradient going back up over the hill. And I want this to kind of be like a rhythm section, if you will, that's going back over the hill. Inside rut on an off camber. Well, you make ruts on any corner, like this off camber over here, by either using the raise and lower tools to actually draw them in and then smooth them out later, or using the gradient tool to just draw them in. And if I decide later to include an off camber, which I'm not planning on it at the moment, but if I do, I will explain to you guys how to build one into a perfect off camber, but that corner over there was just like kind of a loose off camber, I guess. All right, gradient edit. All right, let's set this from terrain. So we got this coming back over the hill. What do I want to put here? All right. So let's start building some jumps in here. And we're just going to build basically a rhythm section up this hill. Not sure how well that's going to turn out yet, but I'm going to try to do the best I can to build it effectively. That's too big of a gap. Yeah. Face cams. Nah, you guys don't want to look at my ugly face. Promise. Nah, I would do face cams, but I don't have a suitable camera for that possible face camming yet. Alright, so we're working on this. rhythm section here. I'm gonna just kind of start drawing it in, and I'll go back and fix it later. So that's 4 jumps. This is gonna be 5. Stop it! There we go. So let's just get an idea of where we want these jumps to be. This will be the last one right here. Alright. You guys are lucky you get to see K3B tonight. I have the nickname K2B because I'm not known to be able to handle my alcohol very well. So 2 beers, and usually I'm feeling pretty good. K3B in the building tonight. Had 3 beers so far. Probably going to get up and grab a 4th here in a minute. Alright, so let's get these jumps shaped the way I want them. Tracks in Sim are way easier to make than in Reflex. Well, I've never made a track in Reflex, so unfortunately I don't have any comparison reference, but if you say so. Some of these jumps are pretty dang steep here. Let's spread this out a little bit more, actually. Oh, there we go. Watch out for the MX Sim DUI. Yeah. Please, any of our young viewers out here, don't drink and drive. Definitely something I hope nobody ever does. Big advocate against drinking and driving. So, the fact that you brought up DUI there just made me think about it. I think some of these are a little bit too steep, but we can always fix them. Just playing with these little nipple points. I think this is the last jump right here, so we don't want it to be as abrupt. Yeah, that's the last one. So let's go back and take a look at this section. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different jumps, and I'm just gonna draw it in and have a look. I'm gonna bring this down to 63. All right, let's draw it in here. Yeah, they look pretty dang steep near the top there. And then that one jump right there at the end smooths out. Alright. So let's see. If you go outside, let's see if I just carry my speed and come flinging into this guy. So you can triple. Definitely clear to me that you can triple that. I don't think the quad is possible. Triple definitely looks doable. Let's try inside. Alright, so let's see if I just double. double. Triple's pretty big if you double, double, double. So if you double, you'd have to probably double your way through, unless you triple up the hill and then double out. Alright, so we're gonna go inside here. I think you can still triple from the inside. Oh man. You have to be timing that shit pretty good though. So I want to see if you come inside and then double, can you then triple up this hill? Probably only on a 450, I'd have to say. That's pretty steep. Oh. So if you come in and triple up, you could probably quad out then. That's too much for me. Time to fix that. So let's see. These jumps at the end are pretty stretched out. Let's see if we eliminate one of the jumps in the middle. If we can then maybe turn this into a little bit of a smoother section by putting a jump here instead. Oh, stop it. So we'll put a jump here then, and move this guy to up to that position. And then instead, we would have this guy. This needs to be moved back actually a little bit. Still pretty close to that. So we'd be down about here, I think. Seems appropriate. And this can move in to this area a little bit more. Everybody likes big jumps, and so I'm kind of trying to include that a little bit, but I don't want to get too unrealistic with it. It's definitely clear to me that the OP line on this would be to triple triple, but I want to try to make it so that triple tripling is really tough to do. So let's take this lip down a little bit. And then fix the lip in here. And we'll fix this guy a little bit. All right. It's looking a little bit better. Can we see the entire track so far, please? Sure. Let me just draw this in real quick. Alright, that's too wide, so let's drop that down to 82. Sure. Someone said hold L in chat. Up. Holding L ain't working for shit. Oh, I see what you're saying. So if I hit that... Oh. I don't get it. Oh, I see what's... Ah. I'm picking up what you're throwing down over there. I see what you're going for. Alright, so we come down to this corner and we hit the middle line, and then we get on our high horse Yeah, tripling up that is pretty much fucking impossible then. Yeah, little jump out of the outside lane. I was kind of thinking that. The only problem with the little jump out of the outside lane idea in this corner is the whole corner, particularly the middle rut, flows to the outside. In fact, I kind of think I want to move this whole section over a little bit too, because in the middle rut, it just bones you. Let's see if I can still triple in from the outside. Nope. Yeah, that triple's much harder now. So let me actually do this then. Let's take this guy, move him over a little bit. Move this guy a little bit back this way. And we will hit linear paint. Paint it in. So now it even looks a little bit better over here, and it'll flow better out of the corner. So you have to hit the inside here, I think, but then you would be able to stay on the right side of the track. I don't know how good the right side of the track is, though. I guess it's one jump shorter that you'd have to take. Let's see, if you went here and stayed on the inside, you could double. And on a 450, you could then triple. On everything else, I think you'd have to double, though. Again. I am going to smooth this section out a little bit because it's pretty rough. I think outside's a lost cause for tripling, though, unless you are ripping. So I'm going to put that little single in the way then. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so let me do this then. Let me instead new gradient this bitch. Draw in right about here. Little single. Be about 6 feet tall, maybe. Give it that kind of a lip here. Good lip, but not overbearing kind of a lip. And first off, I want to smooth this in here. So let's back out. So we're smoothing that a little bit there. And over here, it's already good. We'll go back to gradient, linear add, and we want this to be sharp on the edge. So let us then draw it in here. That's maybe too far away. Let's see. Yeah, it looks all stupid again. There we go. Alright, so if you go outside here, you then relatively quickly are faced with this jump, which needs to be flattened out. Yeah, so it needs to be moved closer. And let's take this gradient, just linear paint real quick. And then smooth again. And then replace. So add. Oh yeah, why not just do the L bit here, huh? Alright, now let's take a look at that. Alright, so it's a little bit flatter there. So basically you take the outside or the middle, it's going to lead you to that jump. You have the possibility here of cutting early off of this guy and missing that. I think it's going to be pretty impossible to come from the outside and miss that jump though. Yeah, you could definitely miss that. Let's see if we can do it from the outside here. I mean, you could cut under, but you have to hit the rut, and then you can't. Yeah, it's pretty dang impossible to triple up that hill. So let me just try going outside here and having a look at how this would work then. You come off this corner, and you double in, double up, and then I guess triple. On a 450, that's definitely the line. Like I said, I'm going to smooth a lot of this out, though, because it's pretty rough around the edges. So inside, get to that inside rut, come out of it clean, double, double, and then double out. Yeah, let me smooth this out and give it a try. Let's only smooth it at a 1.25 click, though. Yeah, let's go a little bit more than that. Alright, now let's take a look here. Yeah, I know if I go into time trial and place that timing gate that it would work that way, but honestly, I kind of like going back and trying it with the corner. So you take this corner, come out of it, double, double, and double again. I like that line. I like it a lot, actually. If you come down in here, let's see, can you triple that? No, you can't. You cannot double then triple on a 450. Uh-oh. Moto sent you guys. No. Moto a go-go, no. No, I'm kidding. What's up, people watching Moto Go-Go stream, or who were watching Moto Go-Go stream? Hope you guys enjoyed the straight rhythm tonight. Alright, can you triple this? Yeah, on a 450 you can. So, inside is pretty much going to be pretty dang awesome for anybody that's not on a 450. Outside could work on a 450 for you, but you'd have to make it work. Other than that, I like how that section turned out. It's got some pretty good flow. It ends up kind of how I wanted it to. Yeah, who won the straight rhythm? I didn't stick around, so I don't know. Can you triple that? Yes, you can. So on a 450, you can go double, triple from the inside. Mahan won Open Pro. Well, that was expected. I don't think if you go outside here, you can triple in. Yeah, no, you can't. So that's useless. So I think I've made this section pretty much the way I want it to. How many viewers we got going right now? I have no idea because I don't have my stream window open actually. All right, let us now build this corner here. 29 views, cool. And hello, Moto Gogo, welcome to the chat. Awesome of you to stream that straight rhythm event tonight. It looked like fun. Obviously, I had some fun. So let's go ahead and create another gradient. I think I'm just going to make even gradients for this corner here. Put in 3 ruts again, but you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So go to edit, and where I want the corner to actually cut, probably right about there. I see you brought a few friends by, Moto. Awesome of you to shout me out. You definitely don't have to. I was hosting your stream earlier tonight. So anybody that was in here pre this stream was watching the straight rhythm that Moto Agogo was streaming. Fun night of racing as always. Alright, and one more rut. This one has to be the biggest. Basically just drawing in a bunch of random dots right now. I went offline. Oh, sorry, I dropped frames for a second. It just showed me that I've dropped frames for a second. Sorry about that for a second, guys. Don't mean to drop frames on you, but we should not be offline. We should have just dropped frames. Alright, so we're just drawing in a little 3-rutted corner with the gradient tool. And this one needs to be a little less OP here. It's my word of the night, apparently, OP. And then this guy needs to be a little smaller than that previous one, not dig into the ground as much, but still exist. Alright, those are looking pretty good. Let's just draw them in and see how they look. Yeah, sorry about that technical difficulties you may have had. We dropped frames for just a brief second, only dropped 41 frames. Alright, so let's draw it in like so. Nope. Alright, let's see how that looks actually. I haven't got a chance yet, Heckman. I apologize, but I will definitely take a look at what you sent me there, guy. Alright, so we got these ruts. They're bumpy as can be. The inside one doesn't exist. So let's zoom in a little bit and try to fix that. Yeah, I just think that that inside one is just barely going to be there. These middle and outside ones, though, definitely you can take, and then we'll come over this guy. So let's take a little smooth tool here to these real quick. Not flattening them out, just don't want them to have all those bumps. What's up, everybody going on in chat that just got here? If you did, welcome to the live stream. Right now, it looks like we've got about 40 minutes left tonight building this track, trying to finish the displacement. And, excuse me, I started a little bit late because I, was racing straight rhythm and had some fun doing that. So apologize for showing up a little bit late. All right, what do I want to do here? Let me place a gradient about yay big. Edit said gradient. Let's just put in 2 quick rollers. Gotta zoom in so I can see this a little bit better. Two quickie little rollers. Nothing too big, but I want them to be there. Actually make this guy a little bit bigger, and that a little bit longer, and this a little bit shorter. Just add these in real fast. 7.5 with 6.6 and 90. That's what I want. Just 89 it. Fuck it. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Oh, those are too short. Actually, I could combine those into one. What I'm trying to do is either make it so you could double, or like just do the table and then double into this corner. You know what? I'll just make it into one. Fuck it. The more and more the track gets going here, the less and less I care about how integrity-wise this looks. Don't want it to make it so that if you roll this jump, though, you're screwed. So I'm going to kind of elongate that bit right there and then make the landing steep enough that you can still land it if you are to jump it. So let's add that in again. 1.75. Alright, that should be big enough. So, for example, come down into this corner, and you're like, oh, bro, we're just gonna outside rut that bitch. And then you're like, oh, scrubsies, lay it over, and jump into the next corner. So you could do that, and then I'm gonna put a bowl corner, and then a wall jump, and then a sand section, I think. Quick little sand section right here, leads you under the bridge, and then we'll go back up over the hill. Sound good? Okay. Gradient placement, new gradient. Make that the start of the corner. What programs do you need to make this? You need to first go to mxsimulator.com, download the game, and then you go, here, I'll show you. Look, so we're going to close out a sim, and you have your icon up here. You give it a quick little right-click-a-rooney, go to Properties, and then you got all this stuff in your target line, which I've shown off in a video before. And if you go to the end here, you see I have -- editor, and once you hit apply after you've put that in, then boom, you go in game, you hit your tab key twice, I guess. If you play in first person, you hit it once. If you play in third, you hit it twice. And then boom, you're an editor. Sound good? Okay? Okay. Alright, moving on. So we're going to make a cheeky bowl corner. Alright, that looks pretty good right about there, just in case we want to put some tough blocks on top of that. And we'll zoom out, make this wider, and boom, bowl corner. Oh, that's a pretty nice bowl corner right there, if I do say so myself. Oh, yeah, baby. Alright. Next, let's see. Alright, poll in chat. Do I do a quick little supercross double jump to 3-foot singles here? Or do I put a wall and then a quick sand section that leads you under the tunnel. Ready? Okay, go. I'm going to move this statue because it's in my way. Alright. I'm going to move it over to this bowl corner, and we'll just leave it right up here on top, alright? There we go. That looks nice. Yes. Yes, very nice. Alright, happy Thanksgiving, Moto. Have a good one. Alright, sand, wall, sand. Everybody wants the wall and the sand. Wall to sand. We're going to do a wall to sand section. Alright, we've got 8 votes for wall to sand. I love it. You guys are awesome. So I will show you guys my way of doing sand sections then. First of all, I will have to go back in later and actually add whatchamajiggy, a sand tile info, because I don't have one to use. Alright, we're back. Stream crashed. Damn it. Hate when that happens. Stupid piece of fragging. Alright. Gradient edit. Alright. Hopefully you guys are seeing this. If not, rip. We'll make the wall 8 feet tall. YOLO. And we'll just kind of draw it in smoothly here. Don't want the wall to be too insane. Obviously you want to get that kind of kick with the wall. Alright, so we got the wall. So we'll build the back side of it. Blame reflex. Alright, then we'll put few little cheeky undulations in here. Nothing too crazy though, because we'll add the real craziness in after I've drawn this. So we built this 8-foot wall. Come down, you can launch into the sand if you feel so. Pop this out to 63, drop it down to 88, 1.75, and here goes nothing. So L, L. Alright, let's take a look at that wall jump. Oof, that's kind of abrupt. Out of the corner and wall. That's not so bad. It's really not so bad. Thought it'd be worse. Can you launch it? Yeah, but it's absolutely useless to launch it. So that is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted in a wall. Oh, awesome, Heckman. Thank you. I appreciate that you put the time in to do that. It's awesome. I'll definitely have a look at it when I get a chance. Probably a little bit later tonight. I was thinking probably going to do some Rocket League with Zach after this. So we have the lower tool. Let's put it on 50. And then boom, just start drawing in craziness. Doesn't really matter how kind of crazy you go, because the smooth tool is your friend when building sand sections. So if you look now, it's just like, holy shit, oh, there's just huge holes. And then you take the smooth tool and it's like, oh, wait a minute, it's not going to be so bad. So we'll just, yeah, that's even too much right there, I bet. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's too much. Smooth out to 1.5 maybe? Live stream Rocket League? Whoa, what? We don't play Rocket League. Alright. Now we got our sand. Not really, because we need to add the sand whatchamajiggies. But we got the terrain that will become sand. So if you want to take the inside, good luck, because there's lots of bumps and stuff. It'll lead you right under the tunnel. If you want to not take a bunch of bumps, you got the left side of the track to lead you in. And go into the tunnel. Have you ever played Reflex? Does anybody in chat care to answer that? Hey, Josh, you can come play Rocket League with me, guy. You know I'm always up for playing Rocket League with you, Joshy Poo. Alright. Oh yeah, I said to somebody in chat earlier, excuse me, that I would show off the track as it is so far. So, for the third time in this video, I think it is, I'm going to go and show you the track. Never ever played Reflex. No, we've absolutely played Reflex before. We have several online plays on our channel linked to it. Jeremy, our channel co-creator, used to do Reflex track reviews, hasn't been doing them lately. But as I was making mention to earlier, Jeremy's coming back tomorrow, folks. You can expect to see Jeremy drop a video tomorrow, and we got something coming together on Friday. So, yeah, be on the lookout for those. So this is the track so far. Just taking a quick spin around it. We're almost done. We only have basically 2 straightaways and a corner left. So this is where we ended last stream, and since we started tonight, we've done this uphill triple step up, and then comes floating down over here, and then we end up at this far corner. We're going to put rough in to make sure that you aren't flinging into these corners. Come out of this, and then an uphill rhythm section. A couple doubles. If from the inside, if you go outside, you're able to double, and then triple. Come into this rut here, and then jump over to the single. You don't have to though, that's why I made it small. Out of this corner, a wall jump, and then some sand here, and then we'll come back up over this hill and pretty much be finished with it. So alright, let us see what I want to put in next. What should I do? So we're basically, what we're doing now is we're going to go under the tunnel, come over this hill, and then just probably right turn or maybe have a looping corner. And this will be like the finish line probably right here, and it'll right turn back onto the start straight. Okay. I already have a lot of big jumps. I have a rhythm section. I kind of don't want to keep doing big jumps, but I don't really know what to put in the middle of this track here. What should I do? Long ski jump over the crest of the hill? Well, we already have a pretty long jump right here where I have my cursor. It's a table, more or less, but it was meant to be a ski jump that goes over the hill. Mid-air collisions? Double over the over-under. You guys are funny. I'm not going to do that. This is meant to be a more realistic track than not. Do a huge sweeper back onto the start straight, 90 degrees or boring. Okay, so we'll have basically this long sweeper. So then this could be the finish line jump right in the middle of the track if we wanted to. So I could do something crazy. Like, I know they have, here, I got an idea. I got an idea. Alright, so we're going to build this away. Put a tunnel under the hill with a rhythm section. You guys are making so many crazy recommendations at this point. So let's have this takeoff of this finish line be right here. And it'll come up to a flat area. And then we'll have, you could just jump up to this plateau if you're a rookie. Or if you're just slow IRL like me. If you want, you could go a little bit longer than that. And jump to this little divot right here. And if you're really crazy, you could jump way out here. And downside the back of this. Oh, stop it. There we go. All right, what do you guys think about something like this? Maybe a little bit flatter right here. It's basically a sort of like a quad, I guess. And you could just kind of scrub your way off of it, or you could just YOLO, clear the whole thing. So let's paint it and see how it looks. 7.5. Let's make this actually 95, just because it's a finish line. I kind of want it to look and feel big. So we'll just, we have it on linear paint, hit L, stretch it out, and boom. So you got a finish line jump that comes up over the top of the hill here. You could either land on this plateau or jump way down to here, basically. Internet sucks at your hotel. You're watching from a hotel? That's pretty hardcore. It's a hardcore fan right there. So you come under the tunnel, get a good drive if you want, and then just float right over the top, just like so. Kind of like it. I think it looks pretty cool. I like the little rough patch that I hit on the way up, too. JT Rupp, asking if I can read his name, wants sand whoops. So, actually, let me... right here. It's right there. Yeah, we got a little bit of rough right here. I liked it. Kind of doesn't necessarily kill your speed, but it messes with your speed a little bit on the way up the hill. So we'll just draw that in nice and smooth. Got a little bit of rough. So now we have a finish line jump right here in the middle. And we're going to have basically a sweeper back onto the start straight. Oh man, I want to get up and get a beer, but I kind of want to finish this displacement too. Beer, displacement, weighing options. Fuck that noise actually. Let me... move this gradient over here, because I want this a cool little tabletop to come back onto the start straight. So basically we'll land here and it'll just swoop around. We'll just have a sweeper. make a sand berm that's super sandy so you hit it fourth tapped. Okay. Like a sweeper sand berm? Is that what you guys are going for? Oh boy. Okay. Let me build this tabletop first before I get too carried away with any of what you guys are saying. Bling. Poor Zach. He wants to play Rocket League. He's messaging me in chat and he's like, come on, guy, finish your stream. Fuck. So build this tabletop here. So that could be the finish line too. Technically, this little tabletop right here just jumps you back out onto the start straight basically. It's a small one, meant to be small like that, but still pretty neat, I think. So we had a request in chat for a sand corner. So let me... fix this little section right here. I just kind of fucked this up right here. We'll roll with it. Can always go back and fix that later if I want to. So we're going to have it come down this hill and basically turn this whole bit here. So let me just build the world's largest turning gradient. That looks pretty good right in there. Maybe about there. We'll edit that gradient, and it needs to at least be flat till there. Yeah, the first part of the sweeper will be off camber. There's no avoiding that bit. So what I'm doing here now is basically making an inside and an outside to what will be a long sand corner. And it'll just have rollers all the way through it. And so we can add that once we get the rough kind of built in. So we have sand before and after the finish line, basically. And we're about to finish the track. So, I mean, at least the basic displacement, we still have a lot of work to do beyond that. But so we'll just draw in that corner. That looked like it made huge. Let's see. Yeah. That the first part of this is definitely going to be pretty off camber. So you land from the finish line up here, and you come zinging down, and it's totally off camber coming into this guy. And then we'll have sand, and it'll come back to this jump right here, table back onto the start, come into turn one, and we've pretty much completed the track. And in good time too. It's not quite at an hour and a half yet, but pretty close, and I think that's about as far as I want to go tonight since it's Thanksgiving, and want to say thanks to all you guys, of course, but want to also have a little bit of a break myself. I still have another video to edit tonight, and hopefully Jeremy sent that bit to me. But it looks like we got the track general displacement now completely done on the track. Next up will be, I'll either decal it first or add rough, but probably decal it, just because once I decal it, adding rough will kind of come easier. So this is the track, just doing one last little quick run through now that I've been able to come over the finish line. Only thing I don't know about this track is how well it rides on smaller bikes, since I'm riding it on a 450. I'd assume that judging by the way, that I built some of this stuff though, it will ride alright on a 250. You just have to probably ride pretty hard. So we'll add rough next time, and that'll also be part of the sand section. I didn't want to get too crazy with this sand section over here, but this will be a sand section, and then you'll turn right, come up the hill, you got a couple rollers, and then that's supposed to be either a triple or a quad. I went for the quad and came up short. Then you'll come zinging down into this off camber, but it'll all be sand rollers basically. Then a little tabletop, and then back on the start straight. So I don't know how long that lap time was, but yeah, it looks like we're pretty much done with the track now. Before I get too out of shape here, I want to save the track. Make sure that's saved for good. Yep, that's saved. And yeah. So yeah, I will get to doing the rough or the decals, or maybe both if I feel like I have enough time next week when I do the track editing tutorial. But this has been episode 3 on the channel. We'll have it up tomorrow morning for you guys to watch. And thanks everybody who tuned in tonight. Finished the track displacement, which is what I wanted to do. Just need to add rough at this point. And so I hope you guys all have a very happy Thanksgiving for those of you that celebrate. I'm sure a lot of people watching right now are American fans, but we do have foreign fans, and you guys don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but at least have a happy Thursday and Friday. And yeah, so for Kellen, track editing part 3 done. Displacement is complete. Next up, decals and or rough. I haven't decided. But yeah, awesome stuff. So we'll catch you guys later. I'm going to tune out now because I'd like to go do some other things with my friends. So Kellen should release beta. Not quite. I really want to actually finish this track before I release it and make it a really good complete track. So yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in though. So much fun streaming for you guys as always. And that's it. I'm done talking. I'm moving on. We're getting out of here, and we'll catch you guys next week.